How's it going, gamers? Another day, another video. In this one, we're going to be taking a realistic look at the release dates for the next generation consoles. We're talking the PlayStation 5, the Google Stadia, and Microsoft's next generation Xbox, which is currently known as Project Scarlet. Now, I'm going to point out some evidence, and I'm going to have a look at previous patterns in the past. And looking at this, we can logically guess when these consoles are going to get released. Now, I'm going to go straight out of there and suggest that this is going to be November 2020 for all three of these consoles. Well, Google Stadia is not even a console, it's actually a streaming device. So, if we have a look at, well, before we actually get into it, there's this image that's floating around the internet. And a lot of people are out there with clickbait videos, articles, so on and so forth, assuming that this is the next PlayStation 5. I really do not believe that. This is a developer kit. Now, developer kits have been made in the past by companies to send to developers so that these people who create these games know what specifications, hardware, software, and so on and so forth, that these are going to be capable of, so they'll be able to produce games for them on release, these release games, because otherwise, if they didn't have these kits, then the consoles would be out with no games, and it takes so long for these developers to actually produce a game for the console. So it'd be counterproductive. You'd basically be buying something that's useless until somebody pumps a game out there. So that's why we have these developer kits, and that's exactly what this is. Anyway, so looking at the past, we've got the PlayStation 1 that was released in December, sorry. And that was released in December because they couldn't get it out fast enough. They had to really, really refine it. It was the very first console Sony had produced. Obviously, they did want it out a little bit earlier than that to capitalise on how many units were sold, especially with it coming up to holiday season. A lot of people out there, they've already spent the money on presents, family members, things like that. So there was a lot of back and forth about that. Anyway, we had the PS2 that was released in March, and while it sold a hell of a lot, it still wasn't the time of year where a lot of consumers are out there buying products. Still, it sold, so on and so forth. The PS3 and the PS4, they were both released in November. They ended up with a lot of units being sold at that time, and that's because people were already either getting ready to buy for Christmas, or they'd already bought. They already had everything set for Christmas, and this was getting released. A lot of people knew it was coming out, so they were getting bought at the time, or they were being ordered for Christmas for family members, kids, this, that, and the other. So they started to capitalize a lot by releasing these consoles at that time. Xbox were rivaling these dates, and they were releasing their consoles around near the same time. So looking at patterns like that, it looks like it's going to be November for the Xbox Project Scarlet. Google Stadia is going to want to cash in and try and rival on all of this, and also the PlayStation 5 with its patterns and this, that, and the other, and its success. It's going to be November. Now, another thing you can look at is events. We've got E3, Tokyo Game Show, PAX. They usually kick off around June afterwards. So these major companies, they're going to want to get to these places. They were going to want to show you what the console looks like, what the console's capable of, and what the next generation of games being released on these consoles are going to look like as well. And what better events to do this than these type of showcases? So that's what I think. I think we're going to get a lot of more information around these game show events and that, like these. What would you call them now? Conventions. That's where we're going to see what they look like, and so on and so forth. And that's where we're going to get our release date. And these all start calming down around near September, around near this time. So that's what I reckon. I reckon it's going to be at these events. That's when you're going to end up seeing everything. They're going to give you a release time. It's going to be around near November. They're going to cash in on the holidays. That's when they're going to try and pump out as many units as possible to get out there. With Stadia being a rival now as well, that could split some of the profits that both Xbox and Sony are after. But I have a bit of anticipation for the actual Stadia device. It does look good, don't get me wrong, but this is the first time Google have ever tried anything like this. The specifications that they're saying this is capable of, with it being a streaming device, it seems way too good to be true. So with that, I'm going to end up waiting, seeing what that actually looks like and what it's capable of. The thing is, PlayStation in the past hinted, or Sony should I say, that they don't know whether or not the next generation of consoles are actually going to be physical, because they could be streaming consoles. And they've been trying a hell of a lot out with PlayStation Now. I know some people have problems and this, that, and the other due to where server regions are, but to be honest, I've never had any problems whatsoever with PlayStation Now. The only thing is they stream early PS4 games and a few PS3 titles. So seeing something like that would be pretty decent in the future, but I don't think it's going to be something we see now with the PlayStation 5 this generation. A lot of people are assuming that the PS5 is going to be fully backwards compatible. I really do hope that is the case, because not only will it be great for, you know, walking down memory lanes and things like that, you'll be able to obviously carry on your gaming account from the PS 3 and 4 with all your trophies, all your information, your digital games, this, that and the other, and you'd also be able to start buying digitally older games that are really hard to come across nowadays for physical copies. So there's that. Anyway, that's the video. There's nothing more I can really add, but looking at, like I said, the developer kit release for the PS5, looking at when these conventions take place, looking at previous patterns in the past, I really do believe 2020 November is the month we're going to see a release for the PS5, the Xbox Project Scarlet, and the Google Stadia. Anyway, what's your thoughts? What's your opinions? Have you got a different theory altogether? You know, and what evidence have you got to back that? Which of these consoles are you planning on getting first, if any at all? And anything else you've got to comment? Just drop a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video, and also you can subscribe to the channel, and you'll get notifications next time our videos goes live. Thanks for watching, and as always, good gaming out there.